Hello and welcome. Now in this first video, what we're going to do is we're going to download our video from the various sites where you might have actually shot it. Now the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go into YouTube, and you're going to want to go to your Creator Studio here. And then you want to go to your Video Manager. Once you do that, what you're going to do is find the video that you want to download. You're going to click this right hand arrow, and then you're just going to click download MP4 video. You're going to download that direct to your hard drive. And then you'll just want to put it someplace where you know it's going to be. Now you may be doing your videos or your webinars on Facebook Live. So we want to be able to do it from there also. So let's now go to Facebook. You want to find a video that you have already shot and done a training or webinar on. And once you find the video where you've shot live, you want to click on the date. That's going to expand it out to a bigger size. You're then going to go to this space where you see those three dots. You're going to see a link there that says download video. Go ahead and click download video. And then you want to rename it for your hard drive. Now if you shoot video to an iPhone, you're going to want to go to your iCloud drive, and then you want to go to the photos area in order to download that video. Okay, once you find the video that you want to download, all you'll need to do is to go to this cloud up there, click that down arrow, and then that's going to bring this file onto your hard drive. Now what you may notice is that if you download a video from Apple, that video is probably going to show an MOV file. Now in some cases you will not be able to use that kind of video inside of your video editing software, and in most cases all you'll really need to do is to change the designation of this video to MP4 in order for it to work. Now it's going to tell you if you change a file extension, your file might become unusable. You might want to change it. In order to use Camtasia and some of the other Windows-based programs, this is going to always happen. So you want to make sure that you do this before you import that video into your video editing software. Okay, so with that, thanks, and I will see you in the next video. Hello and welcome. Now in this video, what we're going to do is we're going to import our video into our editing software, and then we're going to strip out the audio. Then we're going to edit the audio for minor inconsistencies that we don't want in the audio. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to find the video that we just pulled in. We're going to import that video, and we're going to do that by finding it on our hard drive. Okay, we're going to find the video that we want to work with, and then we're going to bring it into our editing software. Once we have it in our editing software, then we're going to add it to our timeline. Now what we're going to do here is we're going to separate out the audio, and we're going to do that by just going to one space inside of the program. We're going to click separate audio and video. Then we're going to take out the video. And then we're going to save. Okay, so now we have a saved project. Now what we want to do is we want to work with our audio in the places where we would probably just not want it inside of an audio recording, or we don't want it transcribed. Now obviously what you'd be doing is you'd be listening to the entire audio, but one of the things that you can do is you can take out the beginning piece, you can skip all the way to the end, you can take out the end piece. Now if we're going to actually use this and we're going to actually sell the audio, we want to work with the audio in some way. And so one of the things we're going to do is we're going to record what are called bumpers, and we're going to add a little music, and we're also going to add in just something to brand our business. We're going to record something like a 10 or 15 second clip for the beginning, 10 or 15 second clip for the end, and then we're going to add a little music to it. And in order to do that, all we really need to do is to go inside of the tools area, click voice narration. We're going to mute out our speakers, and then we're just going to record a piece right here. For more information, visit www.google.com. Okay, so then we're going to just save this file. And when we do that, you'll notice that the clip is right there on our timeline. So we're going to move that timeline down a little bit. And we're going to skip all the way to the end. And we're going to do the same thing. We're going to record a little piece there. For more information, visit www.google.com. We're going to save our file. And so we've got a clip there at the end. Now, if you have some royalty-free music, and you do want to make sure that you have royalty-free music, you don't want to use anyone's music that you don't have permission to use, you're going to actually pull that music into your editing software. So what we're going to do right now is we're going to pick a short clip that we have, and we're going to draw that in, one that we have royalty-free rights to use. Okay, so we found our royalty-free music. What we're going to do is we're going to add both of these to the timeline. So we're going to add this 10-second clip to the timeline. And you'll notice that it's a little longer than the clip that we have. So what we're going to do is we're going to just master this video a little bit. We're going to cut off that file. And then what we're going to do is we're actually going to lower the volume on the music. And then we're going to fade it out. Then we'll bring our timeline back. And we're going to do something similar at the end. And what we're going to do is we're going to add in our longer clip here. Right, so our music is going to play a little longer at the end. We're going to do a little audio. We're going to fade it in. We're going to fade it out. And we're going to lower the volume. And we're going to let it play near the end. And what you've done now is you have stripped the audio and you've added in some bumpers at the beginning and at the end. Of course, anything that you feel like you want to edit out, you can actually do. Now, when you're inside of a program like Camtasia or even Audacity, one of the things that you can do is you can actually take out some of the imperfections in the actual recording. And one of the ways that you do that is you can take some of the noise out. So you find a silent piece that you give the computer to read. You go to the noise removal section of the timeline and you click enable noise removal. Nearly all of the recordings that you do, you could stand to do some noise removal. Now there are some advanced features where you can remove clicks, and when you hear something that's kind of tapping, you hear a tapping noise, you can actually remove that from your audio, and you can do that by using these features. But now that our audio is basically mastered, we don't have to do a full-blown mastery, but all we've done is we've given it a little more of a professional feel, and now that we're going to actually use this audio in order to sell, we've given it something that'll brand us and give us a professional feeling. Okay, so with that, thanks, and I will see you in another video. Okay, so now to get ready to convert the audio into text, we want to go ahead and render our project. So we want to turn this entire project into an MP3 file. So we're just going to go through this process inside of Camtasia. You can do the same thing in Audacity or whatever your editing software is, your audio or video editing software is. And we'll just go through that now. We're not going to make you watch that, so we're going to go ahead and just render this MP3, and then we're going to come right back. The audio process does move a little faster than the video process. Now we just want to kind of show you how fast this is going to move. We're not going to watch the whole thing, just so that you'll know it does move faster than the video process. Okay, so we now have our MP3 file. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go to the web. and we're going to go to a site called VoiceBase. Now, if you don't have a VoiceBase account, you want to click the sign in button. You want to go ahead and sign in and set up an account in the web transcription area. When you do that, you're going to notice VoiceBase is going to tell you that they're going to give you free 50 hours of audio, 5 hours of video without any commitment. So you want to go ahead. If you want to sign up and go through this process, you can. If you are a little unsure and you don't want to sign up for a new service, you can call them, or you can watch the video and then just get a sense for whether or not this is a way that you want to have your audio turned into text. And they're going to have you confirm your email, so you want to go ahead and do that. And then once you've confirmed, you'll have a free subscription plan. Once you log in, you'll notice that you have $60 in credits. And what you can do is you want to start by clicking the upload button. And then you want to add your file. So in this particular case, we're going to add the audio file that we just created. Once we do that, we want to go ahead and click Start Upload. And then it's going to ask us to enter some details in about the audio. Now, we can pretty much use the default settings and just click Save. And then once you do that, you'll notice VoiceBase will tell you that your recordings will be transcribed and available to you either within 24 hours and sometimes as little as 2 hours. So once we've done that, we have started the process of transcribing our audio into text. Now, if you have a speech-to-text engine like Dragon Naturally Speaking, you can do this without paying VoiceBase or going through their program. And if you want to do it in real time, or you don't mind doing it in real time, you can actually use Google Docs in order to do that. And we'll take a closer look at the Google Doc method in the next video. Okay, so with that, thanks, and I will see you in the next video. You're now looking at Virtual Audio Cable, and Virtual Audio Cable is actually a Windows-based program that you can download that will allow you to listen to what you are actually hearing on your screen. And so what this will do, obviously, is this will allow you to be able to play back the audio and to be able to use Google Docs. However, the method that we looked at in video number 3 is more efficient if you can translate it into audio and then have a machine transcription do the audio. However, if you're doing a presentation in real time, how would you do it? Well, you'd use the Google Docs engine. And basically what this involves is it involves going into Google Docs. Now, you'll need to get an add-on for speech recognition. And so one of the things you'll need to do is you'll need to go and get an add-on. And the add-on is the same one that was spoken about in the other course. But if you type in speech to text, then you'll see that this is the engine that you would actually be using. And that's the one that's actually installed in Google Docs right now. Now, when we do this, we can actually record our video in real time and transcribe it at the same time and actually have something in a document that we will be able to work with. And so what we want to do is we want to turn on our transcription. And the key to understanding this isn't difficult to do. It's to have the presence of mind to actually transcribe in real time. Now, obviously, this document that we put together is going to need work. We are not going to be able to just look at the document and just have it to work right out of the box. We should really expect that when we get done with the document that we are going to have something that is going to have all the words there, but at the same time we're going to need to put it in the form that we want to use in order to sell, put it in the form that we want to use in order to have the book, but it will actually save us a lot of time in terms of actually having to sit down and type or to rethink some of the thoughts that we need in order to have in a book. So the engine itself really does work just as you're seeing it on the screen. What you'll want to do is work with it so that it will know and kind of understand your voice and understand what it is that you say and understand how it is that you talk. Once again, there are other engines that do this. This is an online engine. It is subject to your internet connection. It's subject to a lot of different things because it's on Google Docs. It's not going to be as reliable as something that you have on your desktop, obviously. So the other way to do this, once again, is to use virtual audio cable, and that is so that your computer can actually hear the sound, and then you can actually use Google Docs in the same way, but that's only if you're going to transcribe a recording. Once again, the way to transcribe a recording is to turn it to audio and then to use voice base. Okay, so with that, thanks, and I will see you in another video. Hello and welcome. Now you're looking at a Microsoft Word document, and assuming that you have read through your document, you have made it look and sound the way you want it to look and sound. What we need to do now is we need to put it into the form that CreateSpace wants it in order to upload it. And CreateSpace gives us templates where we can actually use. And that's what we're going to go do now. We're going to grab one of the templates, and then we're going to work with the document that we have to put it inside of that template. So we're going to go back to CreateSpace, and we're going to grab the 6x9 template. And the best thing to do is going to be to download the blank template with some sample formatted content. And we're just going to replace that content. So we're going to download this template, and then we're going to open it back up inside of Microsoft Word. So we're going to go ahead and enable editing. And we're going to size this down a little bit because now we have two documents in effect on our page. And so now the question is, how do we work with the template? Well, the template gives us a title that we can actually change. And we want to go through each of these things kind of point by point. Now, we're not going to do the dedication. We're going to do a little bit here. CreateSpace has probably given you an ISBN number. You want to make sure to write that in there. So we're going to make some minor changes right now, move on to the next step. Okay, so we're going to move down here. And you'll notice that we have a table of contents. And what you can do, of course, is you can write the titles as you see them or as you want them to be right in there. Now you can do this so that it changes along with the book, but you want to make sure that you're doing this kind of as you go. So as you start to name your chapters here, you go back to your table of contents here, and CreateSpace is actually giving you a table to work with. So every time you name a new chapter, you want to go ahead and go back to your table of contents, and you want to name the same thing. As you can see here, so you'll go back. Okay, now CreateSpace has given you the margins, they've given you the format, and so what you're going to do is you're going to break in your text into those different sections or different categories so that you can factor it into the chapters. In terms of your subheadings and all the other things that you're going to be using. And you just want to copy it right into your chapters. Now, if you want to make sure that your text, you can almost kind of go back here, and if you're going to substitute your text, you want to kind of merge the formatting if you can, so that it keeps consistent with what's already there and putting your text in. And what you don't want to do is to just do a cut and paste and just put it all the way in there. You want to do one chapter at a time if you can. Hopefully your manuscript is already being proofread. You want to have this spaced in the way that you want it. And that is how you're going to lay your content into your chapters. Now at the end, there is some information you want to put there about yourself. But this is a very simple process, and all you're really doing is you are just keeping the format. And as you keep that format, what you're going to do is you're going to make sure that you keep up with your chapters and you keep up with your pages and that you note it as you're going. You can change the font if you want to. You can make the font into something that you feel better reflects who you are and what you want to say in your book, or you can just keep the format that is already here inside of the CreateSpace template. Okay, so with that, thanks, and I will see you in another video. Welcome back. Now, we've done most of the hard work for CreateSpace by making sure that we've done things in their template and by not changing the template. So as long as you didn't change the formatting of the template and all you did was work within it, you're just about ready then to upload your document. So what you're going to do now is you're going to go to the file area and you're going to save this as a PDF. And you're just going to save this to your hard drive. And then you can actually close out of the document, and then you can head to CreateSpace. Now, when you get to CreateSpace, you're going to notice that there are some steps you're going to go through for each book. And one of the things that you'll want to do, even before you start to upload, is consider doing a preview. And you can actually go to this section where it says Create a Preview. And then we're going to click Create a Preview. And we're going to decide to create a preview for our book. We're going to write our name of our book in. And then we're going to click Create. And then we're going to write in all the pertinent details here. We are going to choose a genre. And then we're going to choose an estimated publishing date. We're going to say yes. And we're going to click Save. And then we're going to actually upload our file. Now, we can actually upload an RTF document, which is rich text file, any Microsoft Word document, or our PDF. So we're going to go ahead and grab our PDF for this file. Right, then once we do that, we're going to click Save. Then we're going to add in a cover image. And we can either use one from an existing title, or we can upload an image from our computer. And we're going to go ahead and do that. Now, this is where you're going to write in your questions for the people who are going to be reviewing your work. And then you're going to give them something to tell you about your book and about how it is. Now, this is a great way for you to get feedback before you actually go live and before you actually put it before someone. And so you want to ask some questions of the people who are going to be reading it, and you do want to make sure that they're going to be people who are actually going to read your book and give you feedback. Okay, so once we've done that, we're going to click Save. And then we can actually go and display our preview. So we will know what it's going to look like to other people. And this is actually what reviewers are going to see when they see our review. They're going to be able to review our work and download it. And then we can actually write in our name if we want to, or we can leave it out. Once we like the preview, we can go to Next. And then we can choose whether or not we want this to be private, public, or in the gallery. And typically we're going to choose private. We're going to need to use a CAPTCHA here. And then once we actually activate the preview, we can then send our book to 100 reviewers, and they can give us feedback on our book. And we're not going to go through the activation process, but this is how you would, once you upload your document, move through the process of not only editing, but also getting feedback on what your book is about and whether or not it's going to fit the niche and it's going to accomplish what you want it to accomplish. Okay, so with that, thanks, and I will see you in another video. Welcome back. Now in this video, we're going to go through the process of tagging our existing files. Now you may have audio files and video files that are already on your computer, already on your hard drive, and you want to tag them because you want to use them in a product that you're going to be creating, either with CreateSpace or with Kunaki. And so what you want to do here is you want to go and just right click this file and go to the properties, then go to the details. And what you're going to do here is you're going to be able then to write in your titles, and you're going to be able to write in all the information. And so you want to fill in all the pertinent information for each one of the files that you're going to be using. And what we're doing in this is we are actually filling in metadata, and all this metadata will actually travel with our file throughout the process. And it's going to be especially important when we start delivering audio to an actual customer and they're downloading it and they're sharing it. We want to make sure that we are still branding our business and that we are sharing with people that we were actually the ones that created the audio and that we have more where that's coming from. So now we can also do the same thing with our video files. We come back to the same screen, and then we can edit some of the same fields here in the same video. Now there will be times when you will, due to the system that you're working on, not be able to tag what you have on your hard drive. And there is a workaround and a solution for that problem. Now there is a third-party program called File Meta Association Manager. And it is downloadable, it is freeware, and it can be found on sites like download.com where it is safe to download. And basically, File Association Manager will allow you to make a file that doesn't allow you to edit the metadata editable. So we would find the kind of file that we want to edit. And in this case, we're looking at MP3, and all of these things are already editable. But if they were not, we could actually make this editable inside of our Windows PC with File Meta Association Manager. So if you come across a file that does not allow you to edit the metadata, then what you want to do is you want to find a safe site like download.com where you can download freeware. And as is the case with everything that you download, make sure that it is safe for your computer, make sure that it is virus free, and make sure that your computer can handle a download. So basically, make sure that you take all the precautions, and if you feel unsure about downloading any program, don't do it. Find another workaround. But this is a workaround if indeed your metadata is uneditable. Okay, so with that, thanks, and I will see you in another video. Hello and welcome. We are now inside of the cover creator in CreateSpace, and what we're going to do is launch our cover creator. Now CreateSpace will give you several designs, but each one of these designs are highly customizable, and you can actually add your own image. So what you're really trying to do with these designs is you're trying to determine a basic style. Now, where you don't have actual images, you have lots of flexibility. You don't have as much flexibility when you have images and hard and fast rules, but you can definitely customize each one of these. So we're going to actually select the one that we looked at in the first course, and we're just going to click OK. Now, one of the first things that we can do is we can actually change the entire theme. And you'll notice that here that you're given several options with each selection, and you can actually change the look almost instantly by changing the theme of what you have. And you'll notice that there. You'll notice that the type is changing. Then you can take a look. Of course, you can change the title, and you can actually add in a subtitle. You'll want to keep track of the tasks as you go throughout the cover creator. Once you've done everything that CreateSpace will want you to do, you can move on. So the guide will actually step you through each part that you can actually do. Now, we've actually done some of this before, and we're going to leave this Latin in here. That doesn't necessarily change for the most part. You're going to change that with whatever it is you do. Now, the interesting part here is that CreateSpace will actually allow you to upload your photo to your cover. And so you can do that right here inside of this screen. Now, CreateSpace wants this to be a JPEG or TIFF file, and they want it to be 1.5 inches by 1.5 inches width and height. So let's go to our hard drive and then let's grab a photo and then let's make sure that it's the proper dimensions. So we're going to grab a file here and we're going to allow it to upload. And once we have our photo in there, what we can do then is we can actually add in a logo also. So we're going to go on to the next step here, and we can actually change our back cover text. We're going to keep going. And this is where we get to add in our logo. So you want to upload your logo here. Okay, and then we have our logo in place. We can go to the next step. CreateSpace will actually allow us to change our background color to what we want it to be. We can either change it using the picker that they've got there, or we can go back to the original. We can change the color of the font, and then once we've completed our task, we can click Submit Cover. Now, if you miss a step, CreateSpace will return you back to your cover step, and you can actually go back and edit your cover to find out what it is that CreateSpace has a problem with if you actually did miss a step. And then once you've submitted your cover and it is complete, you can see a full-size preview. And if you want to go back and edit it, you can. Okay, so with that, thanks, and I will see you in another video. Hello and welcome. Now in this video, what we're going to do is we are going to now build a cover using the Kunaki interface. And you'll see here that we are at the CD jewel case screen, and each one of the different ways that you can actually sell products on Kunaki gives you the opportunity to create a jewel case, as well as to paint or to color the CD or the media that you're actually going to be selling. So in this case, you'll see right here at the top, it says to open the jewel case, Disc Design tool. And what you can do to get started is you can actually choose an image. And they tell you that you generally want to have an image that's going to stretch over this entire CD. So that's what we're going to do right now. We're going to go ahead and we're going to now choose an image. And as you can see here, we use the Print On Demand Playbook, the larger view, and you'll notice that what the CD does is it squeezes the image in order to fit into your actual media. So you want to be mindful of the size. Now we could actually try a smaller size to see how that would actually work. And you can see here the smaller one actually doesn't have the right resolution. We'll try again with the medium resolution. And once again, you'll see that it really tries to squeeze the image in. Now, what we could do is we could make this image smaller using an image creator or an image editor. But we're going to leave this as is, and we're going to go. And now what we're going to do is we're going to change this banner. And you'll notice there that we have control over the banner color. We have control over the size as well as the position. Now, we could choose that we don't want to even have a banner. And in that case, we could just take out the text altogether. Now, any text that we put back in, we have control over this text using these bars. And we can control that text any way that we write in. If we like, we can change the font and suit it to our liking. But in this particular case, we can just decide not to have text at all on our actual CD. Now the next step is going to be for us to be able to design the actual case booklet panel. And once again, if we wanted to brand using the image that we have, we're just going to re-upload that same image. And so what we're going to do again is we're going to choose our file. We're going to upload it again. Now what we can do is we can move the image around. and zoom it out or zoom it in. We can actually move it up or down, depending on how we want it to actually look. And once again, we can choose to take out the text if we don't want to have it, and get rid of the banner altogether. But we have these controls to actually use the banners the way we want to use them. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to design the inside booklet panel. And each one of these pieces is going to be part of the CD, and each of the pieces of media will actually give you all of these pieces to design as you start to create media. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to create another piece of media here, and this is going to go inside of the booklet panel. And so we're going to choose a file here. And then once again, we're going to get rid of the media. We're going to get rid of the wording. Now again, you can actually write on your CD, or you can have the image control the CD. We're choosing to have the image control the CD. So we're going to take this out. Okay, so now we have our inside jacket. What we're going to do now is we're going to design the part that actually shows in the back tray, and that's where the CD actually resides. So we're going to choose another related image. And we're actually going to write in here and we're going to take the header out. We're going to change this color. And what we can do is if we want to change the actual color to something specific, well, we'd need to know the specific numeric code. So if we were trying to color match, we'd use a program like Instant Eyedropper. And then hover over the actual program. So if we write in 135488, we'll have an exact color match. Okay, now each one of these images are now ready for us to download, and then we're going to re-upload them when we actually get ready to submit our media. So what you want to do is you'll want to download each one of these, and when you're ready to upload and to complete your submission of your product, these are the images that you will use. So you want to go ahead and play around with the image editor and to get a feel for what it is that you like to do. If you have some images that you're more comfortable with, you can go ahead and use them. Okay, so with that, thanks, and I will see you in another video. Welcome back. Now we are now in the Create a New Product screen, and we have just created some CD graphics, but we are going to, for the sake of this tutorial, we're actually going to create a video DVD, and we're going to upload some files. And as you know, there are a couple of choices that you have. And one of the unique things about Kunaki is that you can upload any format that you want in order for this to be made into a DVD. Kunaki will actually take your video through the process of making it into the DVD so it will play on people's computer or their entertainment system. So let's go ahead and we are going to upload our video file. And Kunaki will then ask you for your designs. And you should have already completed your designs if you're going to do this. Obviously, if you want to do this, you'll walk through the same steps that we did in video 9 for this DVD case. We're just going to go through this process very quickly, and we're going to put some designs there, and then we're going to come back, and then we're going to start the process of uploading. Now, we have uploaded our artwork that we just created on the system. And what you want to do is, again, you want to make sure that your video and all of your files are tagged before you actually go through the upload process. Now, we're going to choose a video that we have for this purpose. Once we have our file there, we're going to click upload. Once we've done that, we're going to put our title and all of our information in here. And we're going to add in a kunaki UPC barcode. Once we have all of our information in, we're just not going to do this just for the sake of time in this video. We're going to go ahead and click Submit Product. Okay, so once all of our information is in there, we're going to click Submit Product. And then what's going to happen is Kunaki is going to update us every 30 seconds as to when our product is actually going to be ready. So we're going to step away and we're going to pause the video here, and then we're going to come back when the process is complete. Okay, so Kunaki says our product is ready, so we can now log in and look for it in the customer area. And in this case, we added in a UPC barcode, and this will allow us to do record keeping and accounting with this particular product, and for us to be able to track sales very easily. But basically, we are now ready to sell this product. Okay, so with that, thanks, and I will see you in another video. Welcome back. Now, what we're going to do now is we're going to configure our product in order to be sold through Kunaki, and Kunaki has a blue link here at the bottom, and we're going to click Configure Retail Options. And what we're going to do is we're going to make this a Kunaki sales page. So we're going to give this a price. And then we're going to enable the service, as well as the Kunaki PayPal email that we want to have this shipped to. Once we have all that information, then we're going to click Apply. Now, Kunaki is going to give us two sets of pages for our customer. They're going to give us a set of pages for all of our products, and they're going to give us a set of links for the individual product. So we can actually give our customer whichever page that we think will make sense for our business. And so if we have a series of products that we want to have together, want to have them all on PayPal, we can actually give that link to the customer or put this link someplace where people are going to access it through our website. Now at this point, Kunaki is not yet ready to have you embed their page, but you can link to them, and obviously you already do that. So if you have a WordPress site or you have a site, you're just going to bury the link inside of your hyperlink, and then you're going to send them to your Kunaki page. Now if you have an audio CD, Kunaki will allow you to interface with a company called CD Baby. And for people who want to actually have the copy sent to them, they can order those copies. Okay, so with that, thanks, and I will see you in another video. Welcome back. Now in this video, we're going to talk about selling on CreateSpace and Amazon, and one of the things that you probably have noticed is that CreateSpace will give you a direct link from CreateSpace to your actual product. So for example, you will have a title URL that you can actually have your customer go to this page and actually purchase your material. Now this could be helpful when you are in a speaking engagement, or you are actually having someone to go to a page where they won't be distracted with lots of other products. And CreateSpace will actually give you that in order for people to order your book. CreateSpace will also allow you to issue discount codes to certain individuals, which you can use this link. And actually, when you're selling on Amazon.com, this could be appropriate. Now, when you're actually using a discount code, you may have a co-author, you may have a contributor, and you want to use those discount codes so that they can actually have people to purchase the book at the author rate. You can actually discount it down to whatever your author rate is. Now, one of the things little known about Amazon is that Kunaki actually has an interface with Kunaki. And as you can see here, Kunaki can manufacture your product, and you can actually have your product drop shipped to Amazon using their FBA program, and that will get your product before people in some of these other venues. Now, the Amazon Advantage program is the one that you'd actually be using in order to become certified to use Kunaki with Amazon. And you need to submit an application to what they call their Amazon Advantage program. And if you Google Amazon Advantage, you'll be able to find this program and find out more about it. But basically, what you'd be able to do is you'd be able to have a hands-free selling process with Kunaki and Amazon. The other thing that you'll want to be aware of is that this is a consignment program, and as such, Amazon charges $99 on an annual basis. So you want to factor that in as to whether or not this is something that you can actually profit from. You want to factor that into every sale you make, in addition to the 55% commission that Amazon is actually going to make, because the Advantage program is actually a consignment program. They're giving you access to their marketplace, and you are actually consigning items to them. So in some cases, you may not even own the content. What you're doing is you're consigning it to Amazon. Okay, so with that, thanks, and I will see you in another video. What we're going to do now is we are going to work with Photoshop in order to design our template. And so you'll notice that Amazon is going to give you a size template based on the number of pages and the paper color that you're going to be using to publish your book when you use Create Space. When you have your dimensions in there, you're going to click Build Template. So what you're going to do is you're going to download the zip file and unzip it, and you'll have a PNG file and a PDF in there. And then we can open up the PNG inside of our image editing software. What you're going to notice is that you now have some guidance on how to size your actual book and how to size what you want your cover to be. And if you know anything about working with Photoshop, what you're going to try to do is you're going to make sure that you stay within these lines, that if you're going to use the spine, that you get it inside of these areas, and that if you're going to use the back cover, that you design inside of here. And so what you're going to need to do is you can size this up and size this down so that you can design according to the dimensions that you have. So what we can do is we can actually add in our layer, and then we can pull our template or whatever we're going to be using for our book into these spaces. Now, before you actually lay out your book, you want to pay attention to what this information is telling you. For example, the black dotted line is where your book's going to be cut. The blue dotted line is where the spine is going to fold. So you want to make sure that you don't have any letters here because they're going to spill over there. The white area is going to be live, and that's what your customer is actually going to see. And then anything in the red is not actually going to be seen. And so you want to think through how you want your cover to appear. And this is easy to do in Photoshop. Or, of course, if you're not necessarily handy with Photoshop, you can actually have this done by someone. Right? So one of the things that you could do is you can actually design your template, and you want to design it according to the size. And you want to pay attention to the size of the entire PDF that actually comes out. Now let's take a look at how the image is sized. Now the image size is 3776 by 2775. So when you actually do a design, you want to pay attention to those dimensions. And so you've noticed that we have a template that fits in here, but if you wanted to design your own template, you would want to make sure that it fits into those dimensions. 3776 by 2775. And you can do that easily inside of Photoshop if you have some designs that you might want to either use or combine. So you would start by creating an image size or a new image that would be that size. You will want to make it transparent and then click OK. And we can actually size this down in Photoshop. And what we would be doing is we would be designing inside of this square. And as we design inside of this square, when we complete our actual template, that's when we take the template and we place it back on top of this one. And of course, we can just continue to look at this template as our guide. So there are two steps in the process. One, we want to find out what the image size is of the template. And all these templates are going to be specific because they're going to be according to how many pages our book has, as well as the actual size. So in this particular case, we're going to look at the image size. That's one step. And then we're going to create our template size, and we're going to create it in the size of that template so we can start to do our design inside of there. And we want to make sure that our image size is exactly that. And we can begin to do a design, any one that we want according to maybe some e-covers that we have. We put them inside of some layers, but we can begin to make this into what we actually want it to look like. So for example, if we have a flat design, we can actually take a look at this design and how it would fit into what it is that we're trying to do. And in Photoshop, we can actually size this design up. If we want to keep the aspect ratio, we can do that. And what you'll notice is that when we get Photoshop images, we can then begin to design it inside of the template that we're actually going to be using, and that's actually going to be on our hardcover book. Now, once again, if you're comfortable designing on Photoshop, this is something that you can do. You'll be able to handle this. Of course, this is something that you can actually start an intermediate step by having someone to design a template for you to fit your exact dimensions. So when you actually go to give someone on, let's say, Fiverr or some other design location, you can actually give them the dimensions of the image that you want them to have. Or you can start in an interim step. You can have them design a front pocket and a back pocket, and then you can fit it in. If you want to fit it into a specific budget, maybe you don't want them to design the whole thing. So there are lots of options once you understand how the template works inside of Create Space. Once you can get the sizing down, you can size it inside of a program like Photoshop. That's when you can start to use that latitude in order to have designers work with you according to your budget. Okay, so with that, thanks, and I will see you in another video. Welcome back. Now in this video, we're going to work with the images that we downloaded from Kunaki in order to form a template. Now, one of the things you're going to notice right away is that these images that we downloaded are probably not exactly to our liking in terms of the dimensions. So what we can do is we can take note of the size. In this particular case, you'll notice that this dimension is going to be 1394 by 1394. So we're going to take that dimension and we're actually going to go to our Photoshop and we're going to design something that's 1394 by 1394. And what we're going to do is we're going to open a new document and we're just going to make it 1394 by 1394. And we're going to make sure it's a transparent document. And so now what we have is we have the exact square that's actually going to be inside of our CD case or our image case. And this is how we want to design the actual template. What we've been doing is we've been stretching images to fit their template. Now, they've actually given us the size. Now that we have the exact size, we can use this to our advantage to have the dimensions look the way we want. And we're going to create different layers, and we're going to create images that, again, are sized according to the way we want them to be sized. Now, what we can do is we can pull an image into this square. In fact, we can go and get one of the images that are already here, already present. And we're going to paste that image in here. Now typically when we already have a Photoshop image, it's going to accommodate the format. And so what we want to do is we want to keep our aspect ratio, but we want to design this format and we want it to fill out the format in the way that we want it to actually look. Now again, what we want to do is we want to keep in mind exactly how this format looked. You'll notice how this looked inside of the CD, and we can then design our template in that same way, and we can make it so that it does not look stretched. And so what we're going to do then is we're going to now save this as the format that we actually have. And what you can see here is that when we compare the images, instead of having one that's going to be stretched, we have one that kind of fits the dimensions in the way that we want it to be. So we want to take the dimensions that CreateSpace gives us, we want to design a template, and then we want to draw the images in. And we want to draw those images in at the size that we want them to be so that they will not look stretched. So in each case, you're going to look at the size of the document. For instance, this one is 1500 by 2172. This one is 3236 by 2173. This one is 3236 by 2173. And so we can continue to design our templates according to these sizes, and then we want to then proportion them so that our images will look professional and that they'll be proportional when they actually fit inside of the case. Okay, so with that, thanks, and I will see you in another video. So once your work is up and running on CreateSpace, you will want to make sure that you connect to Amazon and get your Amazon Author Central account because of the marketing tools that it makes available. And we're going to go inside of Amazon Author Central and take a look at some of these tools. Now, the Amazon Author account actually allows you to set up a profile that will allow you to share real-time information from some of your social media as well as your blog. For example, you can set up your blog's RSS feed so that whenever you update your blog, your Amazon Central account will be updated. Anytime that you have an event, you can actually do that event and you can update that event inside of your Amazon Author Central. Now, obviously, it should be connected to your book or whatever your subject is, but the point is that the platform gives you the opportunity to set events in front of the people who are going to be coming by looking for information on your topic. Now, the other thing is that you can actually add video to your Amazon Author Central account. You can upload 500 meg of video, and that's quite a bit of video if you want to do a profile or if you want to tell people about what you're going to be talking about in your books. This is a great place for you to be able to do that. Once again, Amazon Author Central is a great tool. Now, one of the other things that you'll notice is that Amazon Author Central is going to give you an author page URL. And you want to do what you can to try to claim your name in Amazon Author Central. You want to get your first and last name, and so that even if you're not writing at the time, you want to go in and try to claim your Author Central account as close to your name as you can so that you will always have the brand when you actually start writing. So simply just go in and add to each one of these sections, and you can actually fill up this section with everything that you're actually doing, and you can have all these things updating while you are doing them from the actual feed. Okay, so with that, thanks, and I will see you in another video.